Howdy, howdy. I am back with Ariel. Well, part of Ariel anyway. Missed last week because we were getting home from our trip and getting reestablished in life, and then I got sick again. Go figure. So fragile. It's tough being a fragile little cookie. But I'm getting there. Still sound funky. But we had a really good time. We spent the whole time at my sister's and got to see, some family that we don't usually get to see, but maybe once a year. So that was fabulous. Always a good time. I got to see my cousin just built a brand new home, so we got to see that, which was amazing. So happy for them. And we went to the aquarium that some of you all saw the video I posted. It was such a fun day. We don't have an aquarium. You'd think Florida would have aquariums everywhere, but we do not. So it's not a place we get to visit. So I've always wanted to go to the aquarium up there. So we finally got to go. We actually went on the 26th. And I was kind of like, do we really want to do this today? Because it's probably going to be super crowded. But surprisingly, it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. We had a great time. I'm telling you, feeding the rays was the highlight of my year. I'm telling you, it was the coolest thing. Now, at SeaWorld, you can pet them, and I think now you can feed them. But the last time I was there, it wasn't, you could just touch them. And I'd always wanted to feed them. So, like a crazy person, I paid $5 for 3 shrimp. Yes, $5 for 3 shrimp. But it was the coolest thing. It was so cool. Their mouths are like little vacuum cleaners. It's the coolest thing. They just like suck that shrimp right out of your hand. And I mean, they were like a cat or a dog, like nudging into your hand. I mean, I know they just wanted food because I don't think they're that type of an animal where they crave attention, but it was still really cool to be sitting there and have these rays just like bumping against your hand and like letting you pet them, even though they were just like, give me food, I want food. It was a really cool experience. And Emily flipped out. She couldn't handle the shrimp. She couldn't handle touching it, even though she eats shrimp, but they have to be cooked, and they're little tiny ones. These were the giant ones. Big, gross, cold. I think if they hadn't been cold, that wouldn't have grossed her out so bad, but she pretty much had a little bit of a meltdown. Had to take it back out of her hand. It was pretty funny. Although she'll tell you it wasn't funny at all. It was a really good time. So if you're in Ohio or Northern Kentucky and you have a chance, go to the Newport Aquarium. It is a great afternoon. It was a really good time. And then on the way home, my parents surprised me by stopping at Ruby Falls. Ruby Falls is a place in Tennessee that I have wanted to go. Tennessee? Yeah, I think Tennessee. Anyway, I've wanted to go there for years, and we have never had the opportunity, because it seems like whenever we're driving through there, we're like, in a hurry to get home, or we're in a hurry to get to Kentucky, and we've just never taken the time to go. So it was really cool. It was cold and it was rainy, but that didn't matter because Ruby Falls is a cave system that is, of course, underground, and it is the tallest underground waterfall in the world. Now, I did not take the time to look up Ruby Falls. I just assumed it was, falls where, maybe they had mined rubies or something. But it turns out that the man who discovered the falls, named them after his wife. So her name was Ruby. So it was really fun, you know, walking through. Of course, you know, they've got the caves all lit up, and they've been letting people in since the 30s, I think it was, when they discovered it. So they have it, you know, all excavated and walkways and lights, and it's just really incredible to see God's handiwork, and how the water just carved out these caverns. And the man that discovered, you know, the falls, he and his partner crawled and explored on their hands and knees for 7 hours before they got to a spot that they could stand. And I don't know about you, but I definitely would not be brave enough to go into an uncharted cavern that no one had ever been in before. They were working on the railway bridge for the Tennessee River, and it opened up into a cavern. So they had no idea that any of it was even there. So it's completely unexplored. No one had ever been in it before. And for him to just like jump right in and go, it's like, all right, we'll be back later, guys. You know, just take some water and some food and lanterns, because they didn't have flashlights then. It was just would have been lanterns. And to just crawl in the darkness and the unknown. I mean, that just blew my mind. I was just like, whoa, this man is like awesome. But it was a really exciting stop for me. And I really appreciated my parents doing that, because, I mean, they didn't have to. Definitely didn't have to. My dad was in charge of driving, and we could have just come straight home. But that's where we ended up spending the night. The first night was after that. We went and, you know, found a place to stay and stayed. But it was really, really special. And I love doing that kind of stuff. I love the caves. Like Mammoth Cave in Kentucky is a place I want to take Emily, because I haven't been since I was a kid. So it's definitely on my bucket list for our travels, but we definitely have to go not in the winter, because it is not underground and we would freeze our heinies off. That's not fun, if you know what I mean. Prefer to not freeze to death. And of course, you know, going under the underground, it gets even colder. And although surprisingly, it's probably because of all the people that were down there and the lights, it was not cold at Ruby Falls, because, you know, we made sure we had our coats on and hats and gloves and such, and we didn't need them. I ended up having to take my coat off because I got too warm. So it was surprisingly comfortable down there. I would say it was probably in the 70s inside the cavern. So it was really neat. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend it. The staff are super friendly. I mean, it's a little pricey, but you know, what isn't when it's a tourist attraction? Those are all those places like that charge way more than they need to. But it's kind of cheesy, because, you know, you definitely need to take some decent food or get food before you go, because the food options are terrible. It's pretty much just junk food. Like hot dog and pretzel, and it was just bad. Really, really bad.
Can you show them this? No, my paint is still a little bit wet.
Emily is working on a dino mask. She is customizing, turning T-Rex into something else.
I don't know the name yet, but it's...
So that's her latest project.
I don't know what to name it.
Nope, don't have a clue.
What should I name it?
I don't know. I said Lucy and you said no.
I don't know.
She doesn't like Lucy. I thought Lucy would be a cool dinosaur name. She says no. She always asks my opinion and then shoots it down, so I don't, it's really annoying.
My eyes.
I can't see that. So she painted eyes on plastic canvas to put into the slot in the mask to, so it's not, her eyes aren't so visible because it's just, you know, holes in the mask. So that'll disguise her eyes. It's pretty cool.
It looks so weird when I have them like this without the mask. I'm a crazy person.
Well, yeah. That surprises you?
I'm a crazy person.
So I ended up with another sinus infection. And I think I just wasn't totally over the first one I had. And then heading back up north, being in the cold and around all the strange germs, traveling and such, it just hit me again. So, yeah, not fun. Although I didn't feel quite as sick. I did spend this past Saturday pretty much all in bed because it was the first day I had where I didn't have to go do something. So Steve and Emily went running around our normal weekend errands. They went without me and I slept all day, which was beautiful. It was so nice to not have to get up and go somewhere, because it seems like I don't have any days like that anymore where I can just sit and veg. I miss those days. I want to just sit home and do nothing, not put any, stay in my PJs all day.
I think it was earlier today. Julie told me, she said, so I think your mom's feeling sick. And I go, why? And she goes, because I texted her at before 10 o'clock and she answered me. And I go, wait, no, actually before 10 o'clock. And she goes, yeah. And I go, oh my gosh.
No, that means I'm feeling better. I'm not feeling as sick anymore.
Normally you're not up. Normally.
So now we have cookie booths we get to start doing for the next month. 2 months, really. So we got, Emily's got 1,000 boxes she wants to sell, so I'm hoping that she can reach her goal. She is earning a trip to Busch Gardens.
I just caught
We're
Banks playing with this.
we're going to get to spend the night at Busch Gardens and then spend the day, the next day at the park. And then we have a children's museum that's in the area down there by Busch Gardens that we will go to after we leave Busch Gardens, and we get to spend the night there. So it's going to be a really cool 2-night super trip. So we're going to do extra good with our cookie booth so we can earn enough so I don't have to pay $100 or more. So we're gonna push ourselves and kick our own butts,
even though I don't
doing
want to.
cookie booths.
She's forcing me
to save some money, because that way we'll have money to spend while we're there, maybe. Color number 3.
There's like color number 3, and I'm just like doing this.
I thought this section might go a little bit quicker, but it's a lot of kind of, not really confetti, but it is more colors in this one. Sometimes that goes quicker than the main, like the solid. Just depends on, I think it just depends on me. So I do not have the stats for the fall product. I know some of you contributed to Emily's goal on that. There were some issues with the computer system, so the leader hasn't told me. I think it just got situated last week or the week before. So I don't know when she'll get her recognition I don't even know how much she actually ended up selling. But we had our camping trip, our big camping trip for the year that we did this past weekend before, whatever day, when was it? Last weekend. And yeah, because not this weekend. Was it? I don't know. I'm so confused. Maybe it was Friday I stayed home and slept. I don't know. Anyway, days just kind of blend together for me lately. But we went out to a state park called Pontoon Island. And it's kind of cool because the campground is literally an island. So you have to take a ferry boat, which is really just a pontoon boat, with all your gear over, and then you get dropped off and you're literally stuck on the island until they come back the next day. There are rangers on the island, 24/7, but the boat stops running at like 4:30 or something like that, and you kind of stranded. So it was a little but since it's a state park, it was really nice. And we stayed in cabins. The weather was perfect. Was not too cold, was not too hot. It was, we could not have asked for a better time. And everything went very smoothly. We didn't have any issues with any of the girls. I did not sleep for 2 days because, you're in a strange place and you have to listen up for the girls that you're responsible for if they need you in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, because they weren't allowed to leave their cabins. They had to call on a walkie-talkie one of the adults, and we had to go down and take them to the potty. So that was fun. But I literally did not sleep but maybe half an hour the whole weekend, and that contributed to my illness, I'm sure. The exhaustion and everything just kind of went. My body was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. But we had a really good time. Like I said, everything went really well, but I told Emmy, I said, we're done camping. My body can't take it. I just can't. Because I try to, help out as much as possible, and that pushes me too far, and then I end up in a lot of pain, and my body just gets run down too quickly. So, which she is perfectly fine with, because she's not a fan of camping anyway. She wanted to go home Friday night. I was like, yeah, we're stuck, babe. You can't. Oh, there's no way to get off the island. I'm sure if it was an emergency, we could have gotten off, but her just crying and wanting to go home was definitely not reason for them to fire up the boat and take us off the island. So she had to suck it up, and she had a good time during the day. It was just, once it started getting dark, she was like, yeah, I want my bed, I want my kitties, I didn't want to be here anymore. So as long as we have indoor plumbing, air conditioning to sleep in, we will be okay. I know the troop leader's not going to be real happy when I tell her no the next time we plan a camping trip, but there's plenty of other parents they can rely on. Although she's just likes my company. She and I get along pretty well, so we usually stick it out together and kind of like each other's sanity.
I like how I put the pencil to hold up the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. Really excited for the rainbow part. Still don't know what to do for the rainbow. We're gonna just do like little. Oh wait, do little white dots on the white part. I mean, rainbow different colored dots on the white part. That look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little turkeys. Yeah. What is that? How's the people? I don't care.
So, if any of you want to buy Girl Scout cookies, I think it's just in the States that they will mail them.
Show them, Anna.
You can message me. Can't see her.
There she is. Turn it a little bit. Say hi. Say hi. Look at that pretty face. That pretty face.
If any of you want to buy cookies, you can email me, and I will send you Emily's link so you can order online. If you have dietary issues where you cannot eat Girl Scout cookies but you still want to contribute, you can purchase cookies on that website and specify that they are for the troops. It's Cookie Share, and they will actually mail cases of cookies depending on how many are, you know, bought throughout the campaign for selling. They will actually mail them to American soldiers that are overseas, which I think is an awesome thing. You know, send them a little taste of home, since they are sacrificing so much for our country. I think it's a good thing. So if you still want to help, don't want to eat them, don't want the calories, there are gluten-free ones, and I have to tell you, they are so good. We had some last year. We were given, because last year they had this whole big fiasco where they didn't make enough, but they had sent a few. They had made a certain amount, so we got to taste them, and they are fantastic. They're chocolate chip with caramel. So it's kind of like a shortbread cookie. It's a thicker cookie. Kind of like a pecan sandy, if you've ever had one of those. And then it's got the chocolate chips and it's got caramel in it. It's just really, really good. You don't even, I don't have a lot of, what's the word? Experience with gluten-free. So I don't know, but I know that the gluten-free ones that they used to have were really bad. They were not good at all. But I can tell you, these cookies are so good, and I will be buying some for myself and hoarding them for the year, because they are so good. So if you are gluten-free, look for those. They are yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right. This is taking a lot longer.
Look, show them him. Boy again.
You're being annoying.
I don't care. Hi. Hi, bub. No, you say hi to other people.
He's not interested.
He's gotten big. He's a big boy. Hey, big boy. Don't check me. I'm sorry. Jeez. So rude.
I can't remember when Cookies ends. It's beginning of March, I think, or sometime in March. So we have time still. It just seems like it takes forever to end. But when you're doing doing 3 or 4 cookie booths a week, it's exhausting. And you're so glad when it's over. But we have some good locations this time. We've got actually in our mall where we get to be inside, which is fun, because normally we're outside. And some days it gets really hot. But Emily always looks forward to it because she gets to hang out with her Girl Scout buddies more, at least for a couple hours at the booths. So that's always a plus for her. I'm done with that color. Get off of there. Let's see. I don't see any more. That one. I really love these rhinestones paintings so much. So pretty. Next, number 12. Sorry. Ooh, look at that. It's like neon. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's like neon. So cool. Okay, there's got up. Gotta be more than just. I hate that when you like see a bunch of them, so you're like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and do that color, and then you try to find them on the canvas, and it's like, nope, there's none here. Don't know what you're looking at. I swear I saw more than just like 3 of them on here. All right. Yep, almost missed one. Yep, did miss a couple. There we go. See, I knew I saw more. Does that happen to you? This is the corner of the picture where is the rock and the like starfish flowers. That's why there's so many color changes on this corner. All right. Let's do the little tiny bit of blue that's on here. Number 18 is 1. What's the problem here? I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Emily had her first sleepover birthday party last night. She spent her first night at a friend's house because all her 10 years she's only ever slept away at my mom and dad's without us. So she finally got to spend the night. Her friend had wanted so badly to have a slumber party, and she wanted so badly for Emily to be there. So it was super exciting for both of them because she's been wanting Emily to spend the night at her house for years. I mean, since they first met, she was wanting her to spend the night. So it was really cool. She had a great time, did really well. I didn't get a phone call at, 11 o'clock. Mom, come get me. Actually, I didn't hear from her at all. Her friend's mom sent me pictures, throughout the night of what they were doing and their little silly antics that they were doing and stuff. But they got to make shaped pancakes today for breakfast. And Emily, of course, made a unicorn. She actually did really good. Surprising, not surprising. I mean, this is Emily we're talking about here. And then the same girls that were, well, some of the girls that were at the sleepover were invited to another girl's birthday party today at the park. So the mom, her friend's mom, took them all to the next party, and we picked her up from there. So she had a very busy, fun day. So I'm hoping she will go to bed early tonight, because I know she's tired. But my baby's growing up. Before I know it, she'll be going to college. She sure acts like she's old enough to sometimes. And then there's other times where I'm like, really? You're 10 years old. Why are you acting like that? I love how independent she is, but at the same time, I hate it. And why is it when you want to do something for them, they don't want you to? But like when you need them to be independent, they're like, oh, do it for me. It's so weird. Okay, so that's the blue. This is a pretty color too. It's like a sapphire, dark sapphire. I don't know, the rhinestones just really intrigue me because they're just so pretty. And this is black. Which it doesn't look like a rhinestone. It's like really dull compared to the others, but it has that silver backing. It just isn't transparent like the other colors are. So it's kind of disappointing. I don't understand why they don't do that with the black. Because, I mean, if you can do silver and gray and all that, why can't you go ahead and do the black? Because it would still be, you know, you'd still see the color. I didn't get it. Someone explain that to me. Because I know they make black rhinestones because I've seen them. I have some. Just not enough for this painting. This is the symbol is E, and in my head I'm going E, 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 E. It's the little things that entertain yourself. Have you seen the new TV show? The guy that was it Freddy Krueger? Is that who he is? I don't know. I've never seen any of those movies. But supposedly he is doing a new TV series. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like a ghost show or like legitimate like fears that people have. I haven't seen enough on it to know for sure, but it's just funny. He's, you know, he's actually, you know, showing his actual face and coming out of the darkness into the light. It's funny how he can't get away from that horror movie genre, although maybe he doesn't want to because that's what made him famous. So Maybe he's embraced it and realized that, yeah, I'll be Freddy Krueger for the rest of my life, and I'll like it. He is a pretty iconic horror person, though, right? Everybody knows Freddy Krueger, don't they? And the only reason I knew it was him is because in the article that I read, it mentioned, it showed a picture of him in character. And they were talking about him being the host of the show and bringing his creepy vibe or something like that to it. But I'll have to, I can't even remember what they said the name of the show was going to be. It was just one of those really quick, like, terrible articles on Facebook, so maybe it's not even true. It could just be a, you know, fake article, fake news. Because, you know, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. Oh, shocker, right? Okay, there's that. Which one should I do next? I think I will do number 4 because I literally see 2 number 4s. And number 4 is actually number 11. Could that be more confusing? Let's see, can I get 2 out? Let's see. Oh, I did it. Now watch, I'll find another one. 4. Let's see. My voice is sounding a whole lot worse. Plus it's nighttime, so you always get worse at night. Let's do number 6, which is number 8. They should not do numbers unless they're going to use the actual number, because that is like way confusing. Another one I'm working on is like that too. It's like, oh Lord. Number 6 is number 11, and number 11 is number 5, and number 4 is number 3. It's like something you'd hear Willy Wonka saying. Schnozberries taste like schnozberries. Need to watch that movie. I found a Candyland, Willy Wonka Candyland, at the bookstore yesterday. It's pretty cool, but I wasn't going to pay $40 for it because that's insane. $40 for a Candyland game. I'm like, are you for real? Just because it's got Willy Wonka on it? No. I did buy a new Uno game. Me and I we like Uno. And this kid, let me tell you, that kid can kick your butt at Uno. She is brutal. When we were at one of the family Christmas parties, my cousin actually sat down and was playing Uno with her. And he's like, oh my God, she's actually beating me. And I'm sure he was not letting her win, because you don't have to let her win. She will collect all of the, you know, draw 2s and draw 4s and all this stuff, and she'll like slap them down one after the other and then be like, Uno, goodbye, I'm out. So he's like, man. I was like, yeah, I kind of taught her a little bit too well, I think. But that was one of the games she picked up. We were playing Uno when she was like 3, 4 years old. And she was winning. And Steve used to be like, oh, you're letting her win. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't have to. She is beating me legitimately. She was good at the strategy. And same thing with tic-tac-toe. I had to like verbally teach her the strategy of tic-tac-toe, but now it's like you can barely ever win when you play I hate playing tic-tac-toe with her because she's just it's like, no, let's not do tic-tac-toe. At least with Uno I have a chance of winning, but when two people are playing the same strategy at tic-tac-toe, it's kind of, yeah, it's not really exciting. Kind of takes the fun out of it when you're both trying to do the same thing. But we got a Harry Potter Uno version for Christmas from my sister. And it's really cool. It's got, you know, a couple of different rules. And then I found, it's called Uno Flip. There's a light side of the cards, which is like the original Uno. And then there's a dark side. So the outer like border of the cards is black, and then the colors are different. There's like turquoise and orange and pink, that kind of thing, instead of the red, yellow, blue, and green. So we haven't played it yet because we bought it Friday, and then or Saturday. We bought it Saturday. So we'll have to check it out this weekend because it's kind of cool because there's a card in there that says flip, and if someone plays that card, everyone has to turn their cards over to the dark side. And then you play those cards, and those cards have like draw 5 instead of draw 2, and you know, keep drawing until you get the specific color. So it's, you know, the darker rules. And when my sister and I played growing up, it was always whoever went out got 0, and then you added up all your cards, and whoever got to 500 first was the loser. And in reading the rules, that is backwards. The person who goes out gets everyone's points. And then whoever reaches 500 first wins. So that's a little bit different. I mean, a lot of times Emily and I don't even take score. We just play until I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm tired of being beat by a child. Go to bed. But we like Uno. We've had the same deck of Cinderella Uno cards for 7 years. So they have gotten quite ratty. There's actually teeth marks from the cats on a couple of them, and you know, there's one that's missing a corner, and you know, they're really bent up, and actually it's much easier to play with them when they're old and worn. But I was excited to get the Harry Potter ones to have something different. We played them a couple times while we were in Kentucky, but we have not had time to play since we've been back. So this week, I think we'll be a little bit calmer this week, because I think we have like 2 days, or maybe it's just Thursday. No, we have somewhere to be every single day again this week. Or is that next week? No, that's this week. Anyway, I can't keep track. I just want to. This past week we skipped co-op because I was feeling so bad. I could not get up. She comes in. I was still sleeping, and she comes in. She's like, Mom, it's almost 10 o'clock. I said, I don't care. Leave me alone. I need sleep. So I think it was like 10:30 when I rolled out of bed. So it's good when she's but I was still recovering from the camping trip and not sleeping for 2 days and all that, so that's good. She got up and got her breakfast, and since her dad works nights, you know, he's up, so I don't have to worry about her being unsupervised. But I needed that extra little tiny bit of sleep that I got. But she was mad. Oh, she was mad at me. She does not like to miss co-op. Okay, I just had a coughing fit, so I'm going to go ahead and end here, even though I'm not done with my section. I'm going to end here because I'm definitely straining my voice, and I'm sure you can tell, which I'm sure is not pleasant to listen to. So I will be back, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and then next week it'll be this section will be complete. So I will see y'all real soon. Bye. Thanks so much for watching.